Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, where today I have a custom battle consisting of one Japanese battleship, that's the one that I'll be designing, versus three battleships from the British, dated 1935, so they're slightly older, a battlecruiser, three heavies, three lights, and five destroyers. And my objective is to sink as many of these ships as possible. Now, I haven't designed the ship yet, because you simply can't, the design does not get saved. And unlike with previous missions, I now no longer have any limitations in the sense of funds, so I can spend as much as I like on this battleship. So we're going to make this thing as big as possible at 125,000 tons. I can also make it exceptionally fast, although I'm not even sure if the game will allow me to do this. So this is going to be a bit of an experiment to see how well this ship will be, well, adapted to the design decisions that I want to make. It seems like without a money constraint, and in the previous mission I had a money constraint of I think 160 million, something like that. That is really going to limit you. But right now, with an unlimited budget, I can go nuts. I can build as much as I would like. 36 knots might be a bit fast, but why not? I don't have a limitation. Barbette 4? Yeah, I'd rather not detonate. Anti-torp 2. Let's go for triple bottom, reinforced bulkheads, anti-flooding 2. And citadel at the range at which I'm going to be fighting. This is tricky. This is just more armor strength and less detonation chance, but this is more resistance. Yeah, let's go for turtleback. Standard shells, no, we're going to be firing super heavy shells. I probably will need a lot of them. I'm firing high TNT from electro-hydraulic autoloader turrets. I want a generation 2 radar, I want radio direction finding, and I want a good rangefinder. Okay, so that's the outlay of the ship. Now to set up the main structures. I'm going to see if I can make this a ship that has a lot of bow turrets. And with the pagoda, or the super pagoda mast, I might be able to do that. So I would have, let's say, a turret low, a turret higher, and another turret lower. That would mean that I would have... Or, hold on, maybe I can build a tall superimposed barbette. Yeah, you can only do it with the superimposed, not with the huge superimposed barbettes. That's unfortunate, because that means that I cannot really put out the turret design that I'd hoped. So I'm gonna have one there, one here. One, holy shit, can I put all of these on the bow? Whoa. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting design. Limitations is that I'll have to be firing, or I'll have to be positioned pretty broadside in order to get away with this. But once I am, I'll be able to fire 12 guns of 18-inch at the enemy. The big question is, does a secondary tower actually fit? It does. I can barely get that thing in the frame because the ship is so incredibly long. Next, a funnel. No, that doesn't fit. Maybe a medium will. Stats. 45% engine efficiency. Okay, I'm going to need another funnel. But that won't fit. Yeah, this absolutely won't fit. How far can I put that secondary tower? Not far enough. Although if I go for a smaller one, a modern 2, I might be able to fit it. Modern 3 won't do it. Let's see, this is gonna cut into my aiming speed a bit. It gives me a bit more long-range accuracy, which is important for a ship like this. But I think this is the only thing that I can reliably fit. Engine efficiency is still only 53%. Now, what I have seen the AI do sometimes is build 2 of them. How did it do that again? It had like 2 funnels next to each other. No way. Okay. So today I learned that you can actually have these things oriented sideways. It's a really weird funnel setup, but my engine efficiency is now at 91%. That's good. That's really good. Alright, I still have a bit of a front weight offset problem, and I might be able to compensate that if I throw on a main turret of 18 inch on the stern. 5.8 for 2%. Oof. Okay, so I have my 5 turrets. The thing is, I have a bit of a weight problem. I only have 10,000 left to set up remaining turrets. Let's reduce speed a little. 36 knots might be a bit excessive. 32 knots. That gives me 15,000 tons to work with. Alright, secondary guns. Unfortunately, I don't have a secondary tower which can fit those secondary guns. So I'm going to have to fit these things more or less around the main superstructure. Not really in the place of the turrets. I don't want them to get in the way of the main turrets. I'm going to go with a bunch of 6-inch to make sure that I can still fend off against destroyer attacks which get too close. They fire out to a range of 14.4, so that should be plenty. And I believe I might be able to fit, what is it, 5? No, 4-inch? Not even 4-inch. There we go, 3-inch. I'm going to stuff the whole pagoda mast full of turrets. Alright, that fits. What else do I need? Can I shift that turret farther back? There. Oh, maybe I can fit another turret. Actually. Center line. Does that fit? Oh, it fits! Oh shit. So now... No way. I have 18 18-inch guns. That's a massive amount of firepower. I don't quite like it, but I might have to move that turret a bit further forward. And then just see if I can fix this with the offset. For weight offset's quite high. 0.6, there we go. It is looking a little weird, like the turret won't quite fire all the way. Let's see, can I slide this one back 1 or 2 slots? And then... have this over here, maybe slide it forward? No. But I can slide this one forward a touch. Oops, there goes the barbette. It sucks that you can only really place down 1 on the bow. Oh, but I can put 1 on the stern here. So that I can still use that turret to fire over the other one. This one still needs to sit. There you go. After weight offset 5.1%. This turret is going to have to go forward. Alright, 0.9%. I can live with that. I can live with that. Right. I have a firepower of 18 18-inch guns. Beyond that, I have 18 6-inch guns and 36 3-inch guns. And I still have 10,000 tons left in order to deploy armor. I'm not going to put torpedo launchers on this ship because I expect those to be shot off pretty damn quick. And it's just going to be a big waste of time. Hold on, there is something I want to test. Side guns. Does this... No way. This fits? How could you fire those, though? Do they both orient forward? The thing is, I would never be able to use them. Because if I'm facing a direct forward threat, then this turret would point forward, that one point forward, this one would fire, that one would fire, but this one would not. If I slide these further forward... This one does not quite want to fit. Jesus, how many guns can I fit on this ship? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 24 18-inch guns. I don't have any weight displacement left. So anything that hits me is going to do a lot of damage if I don't slide this thing down a bit more and add some more armor. The turrets. Let's go for 15-inch. And the conning tower, 15-inch. I want a bit more belt armor. Let's go for 13 if I can fit that. Let's go for belt extended. What I'm worried about is belt penetrations and that I'm then going to start flooding. Can I get this at 10 and still have something left? Yeah, but not a lot. Maybe some turret top armor up to 6. Yep, I can get about 6 inches of that. Okay, this was not quite what I had expected to design, but here she is. This is the Chitose. She carries, and I can't believe I'm saying this, she carries 24 18-inch guns, 18 of those 6-inch guns, and 36 3-inch guns. And we're going to put this ship to battle. She's going to cost almost 260 million to build. And let's say, if you want to build this in the campaign, when that eventually comes out, how long would that take to build? Because the game does tell you that. That's the ship itself overview. Ship details. These are only the weights and the costs. Where was that? I did see that pop up quite a few times. Flooding chances reduced, fire chances reduced, torpedo damage is reduced. That's all good. Here, build time, 56 months. 60 months is 5 years. So this thing would take almost 5 years to build. Well, I can't really blame him. Alright, let's put her to fight. And see if the Chitose can sink all of those British warships. 24 18-inch guns. This has to be the biggest ship that I've ever built in this game. Alright, we already have them. They're sailing in a beautiful formation. For the moment. Oh, how much of a broadside can I fire 6 18-inch turrets broadside? Can I do that? That's one turret. Already at a 4.5% accuracy. 5%. I expect this turret to open up now as well. Jeez, what's your turning circle like? I'm trying to turn around 125,000 tons at a speed of 28 knots. So I'm not surprised that it's going to take a little bit of time to get that done. Oh, you're a beauty of a ship with all those guns. Look at that. I don't know how that's still afloat. Must be a really wide ship as well. It almost looks like these 18-inch guns are relatively small as compared to the rest of the hull. Come on, get those bow turrets turned. Those are electro-hydraulic turrets, so they're the fastest turning rotation speed that I can put on this ship. There we go. That was a full salvo of 6 18-inch turrets. So that was a salvo of 24 18-inch shells. And we have hit a ship and done severe damage to it. 465, 436. What did we hit? Oh. Oh dear. That's what I think is a heavy cruiser. Well, was a heavy cruiser soon. Look at that. Listing to starboard severely at this point. she's almost gonna go down. That was 3 hits on this ship. And she's flooding to death. Oh, she's fighting it. No joy. That's one down. Alright, prioritize firing at the battleships. This one. I would expect, actually, that those British warships, those battleships, are already in range. But if the British have spec'd them in a design that's not really prioritizing long-range firepower and long-range accuracy, then they might not have. Look at that. They don't even have their turrets trained on me yet. What are these small guns that they're using? They have built-in rangefinders, which is unusual for the bigger turrets. I don't know, however, if I'm going to be able to identify this before it sinks. Here it comes. Fire set. That was half the warship, half the battleship in one salvo. Now, I guess the hope for the British is going to be their destroyer fleet. A destroyer task force of 5 ships. They do seem to be closing in pretty quick. What sort of turret layout do you have? You do have torpedo launchers on the stern. 2 quintuples. That's 10 tubes total. Lots and lots of funnels, which could indicate that they're also really fast. Lots of engine efficiency on those ships. Range 13.9. I hope to be able to identify this ship, so I know if I can start maneuvering to avoid getting hit by torpedoes. Because they do have them trained on me, which is usually not a good sign. That usually means that you're about to get torpedoed. So it's... yeah, actually let's start preemptively turning the ship. I don't want to be turning into them, so I want to be turning out. When are the 6-inch going to get involved? That was 14.4. Secondaries, alt right click. There we go, 1%. And it's just 9 guns per side. So hopefully volume of... what? Volume of fire will sink them. And they will. Although that might have been a lucky hit. 65% on that battleship that I've mauled so far. The game seems to think it might be a heavy cruiser. But I honestly doubt that. I don't think it's a heavy. I think it's something else. Big salvo coming in from the battleship. Chitose. And targeting... what are we targeting? Oh, the battleship's returning fire now. Train the guns on the battleship, train the secondaries, not on the battleship, but on the destroyer. Here we go. This is the Sandfly, and the Sandfly just sent out a torpedo, or rather a salvo. That's a lot of firepower on those torps. I do have a bit of torpedo mitigation, but I'd still rather not get hit by those things. So let's increase the flank. At the risk of losing a bit of accuracy, but my accuracy seems fine most of the time. Oh, I hope that these are not considered secondaries. Sometimes they are, look at that. Some are aimed at the DD, some are aimed at the BB, and the others are once again aimed at the destroyer, so it's... I don't quite know what we're targeting. The Milne has also launched torpedoes and is working on a reload. That could be a problem, depending on what she has sent and where. Salvo on the battleship. Fire and flooding has been inflicted. So far we've taken a bit of a scratch to the bow. But there's no fire. And the rest of the armor seems to be holding as current. These salvos though. Beautiful. I do find this funnel setup to be very curious, but now that I know that this is actually a possibility, I'll definitely be using it more, because it means you can save so much space. Uh-oh. Rudder left, max. There are torpedoes in the water. Right here and here. How fast are they? Traveling at a speed of 49 knots. Minus 35% visibility, so I won't see those things in time. Okay, this battleship's probably going to go down pretty quick. I'm just going to let the guns take care of that, so I can focus on avoiding the torpedoes. The 18-inch guns in this game are so incredibly punchy. They have so much firepower that even though the British have a vastly larger fleet of several battleships, destroyers, heavy cruisers and escorts, that they still don't really hold a candle to this battleship, which is just the one. Sure enough, it's a huge ship with the firepower of, I don't know, Yamato had 3 turrets. I'm basically floating 2.5 Yamatos on one ship, or at least the same firepower, if you're counting the 18-inch guns. Secondary-wise, I probably don't have quite the same level, but that's alright. So long as the mains can keep the big ships at bay, and the secondaries can at least keep the destroyers occupied. And combine that with maneuvering, and the torpedoes might not be that big of a threat. I'm going to make a full turn to port. It's going to take quite a while to swing all those turrets around. Although this one might be a free turning one. It can turn over everything else. The A turret, not so much. Speaking, by the way, of the turrets, I wonder what it's called when you have these turrets side by side. I mean, normally you have an A, B, C turret, and then whatever comes behind it is X, Y, and Z, for example. What's it called when you have them side by side? I don't know about that yet. So far it looks like the destroyer is the main target, with still some shells going out to one of the battleships. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. The superb 10-inch guns. My dear AI, it's 1935. You're going to have to come up with bigger guns than that. 38,500 tons as well. So, this one ship, the Chitose, displaces more than these 3 battleships combined at 38,500 tons. That's how heavy this ship is. Yeah, no wonder the Brits aren't doing well. It seems almost like the AI only really generates exceptionally powerful ships when they have a mission that dictates them to do so. Because if they don't have a mission that dictates you need to be building such and such a ship, they just do weird stuff. They did not have a budget as much as I did. I mean, they were not limited by the amount of cash that they had. So why they're building small battleships with low amount or low caliber guns, I don't know. I think that the game could be improved in this element. Now, ideally, I'd sink the destroyers first. But those things are pretty hard to hit. Because they're small and they're fast. They're doing 40 knots, or they can do 40 knots. They're not quite doing it, though. They're all over the place. 6.5 knots, 17 knots, 11, 39. All over the place. Could I sink one? Which one's the slowest? 16... The Warrego. That's the wounded one, I think. No, it's not. This one. Alright, all turrets, go for the Warrego class destroyer. Or rather, the destroyer called Warrego, because I think they might be considered Sandfly class ships. Although I'm not sure if this was the first ship that was launched. Speaking of launches, he just sent out torpedoes again. So it is time to make myself scarce and not predictable. Keep turning to port. Make sure that I don't get torpedoed. Now, if these DDs are all smoking up, then there's really no point to trying to engage them. So let's just go for the battleships again, the Cornwallis. It seems like the Temeraire is moving ahead full steam. Where to? I don't know. She's at least not very interested in fighting me, that's for sure. Alright, how's the turrets? How's the turret setup? Yep, firing all turrets to port. As much as possible. Maybe even the starboard turrets. If they can fire over those turrets. I don't think they are. Because I'm not seeing them fire and then depress. So they're probably not firing. Alright, I hit another battleship for a good amount of damage. Yep, Cornwallis on fire in 3 different sections. Standard bulkheads will contain the fire. At least she's not flooding anymore. I'm trying to throw the Shitose through a turn. She's trying to get back up to 18 knots. Oh dear, I'm gonna get hit. At least 1 torpedo by the looks of it. Possibly 2. Yeah, that did 115 damage, but more importantly, damaged an engine. Now I am running diesel, so hopefully I can get that damage fixed. And that I won't be permanently afflicted by that damage. I really hope that the Temeraire is not fleeing. Because then I'd have to go chase it and catch it. And it can do 31, and I can't. Especially not now with a damaged engine. I can only do 23 knots. Cornwallis can probably not reach 23 knots or 31.5 either. Maybe I should let the Temeraire escape as a cautionary tale. Challenge the Japanese and this is what you're gonna get. Uh-oh, speaking of. There's another set of torpedoes. I'm gonna eat 2, possibly 3. 3 hits. Both 2 engines are damaged. Rudder is damaged. Oh no, I cannot steer the ship anymore. That makes me pretty easy pickings for the DDs now. Please tell me you can fix that. Also fix the flooding and pump out the water. More torpedoes in the water. Number 292. We're flooding on the bow. And we're on fire now. Who's firing at me? Who's in range? The battleships. It's not the Cornwallis. No, it's a heavy cruiser, in fact. The Natal is firing at me. Look at that, the Natal, a heavy cruiser, has bigger guns at 11 inch than the battleship at 10 inch. Maybe the Natal is a bigger threat at this point. Oh, I cannot really dodge these DDs anymore. Oh, there goes the Natal. That's what you get for shooting me. You get an ammo detonation. For 3,800 damage. I need to try and get these DDs killed. Quick. Oh, they're smoking up again? I thought those smokes had at least a bit of a cooldown, but they seem to be really quick. So I'm just throwing out as many shells as possible. Sandfly is not impressed. Both engines are still damaged, as is my rudder. At least these torpedoes didn't hit me. Nor that one. How much ammo do these guys carry? The Sandfly is almost out. This one still has 20. 20. That's one down. 21,000 damage? Bloody hell, that was an overpen. That did 21,000 damage. That was lethal. And yes, that ping was from my Facebook. I forgot to close that down. Oh shit, the turquoise is coming in. 9.6 kilometers out, and she just sent out torpedoes. Beyond having a rudder stuck, I don't know how to avoid those. Or maybe slow down. Maybe that'll help. Turquoise seems to be rushing around in a circle, doing 31 knots in a turn. She did get hit, but immediately somehow mitigated that damage. Yeah, I'm definitely getting too close now. The Chitose is getting under attack from the Temeraire. Come on, turrets. You just need the one big hit. And that'll do it. Am I wasting my time on these destroyers? Oh dear, I got hit again, didn't I? Yep, that's another 369 damage. And I'm on fire. DDs really are the bane of this ship. It's David and Goliath all over again. And I don't really have any way of keeping them off of me either. All engines have now taken damage. The flooding in the bow has been contained, but I am on fire in 2 different locations and I'm still flooding at the stern. Another torpedo hit. Times 3. Oh, she might not win this. Come on! Just the one hit, please. Why am I so unstable? Oh, damage instability. Minus 49%. Yeah, that's not gonna help. Alright. Hit something we can actually hit. If it's not the destroyers, it might be the battleship. There you go. That should give him something to concern himself with, other than just firing at my ship. Fire and flooding. I am really concerned about the Chitose. I don't think it's going to survive. It's going to get slowly torn apart by the DDs. And there is not much that I can do about it. This is not exactly how I expected the battle to go, honestly. Especially with the first couple of salvos doing a lot of damage against heavy cruisers and battleships. I thought that I had this thing in the bag. And then the game says, well, allow me to introduce you to my destroyers. Look at that, I'm doing 12 knots. If that. No, I'm not even doing 12 knots. I'm doing about 9 and I'm slowing down. I will, however, take this battleship down with me. There's no way the Temeraire is going to survive this. However, I think that having sunk, 2 heavy cruisers and having severely damaged 3 battleships, cost-wise, the British might still come out ahead when they sink the Chitose. Sacrificing 2 heavy cruisers for a ship that's 125,000 tons, but more importantly 260 million, is probably a win for the Brits. Uh-oh, more torpedoes. Those are gonna miss. This one's gonna miss. But I'm getting peppered by the cruisers on the far right flank. Yeah, Chitose is not gonna win this. And she was such a pretty ship. Should have kept my distance. I think that was my key mistake. But I will undoubtedly hear from you guys in the comment section what other mistakes I have made so far. Hit, hit, hit. Just a bit of fire. Alright, do me a favor. Fire 1 salvo of HE. Because we can put this ship on fire and just overwhelm it with fires. That would be another way to go. And especially considering it's already taken a lot of damage, we might be able to just put it down. Oh, I'm almost getting rushed by the DDs at this point. This one still has torpedoes, this one still has torpedoes but hasn't sent. This one has just launched the turquoise. Milne also just launched. That's going to be the end of the Chitose. This thing can survive a lot of fire, but this is probably going to finish me off. It's 2 torpedoes. There's another couple. Come on! Sink these little fuckers. Another torpedo hit on the bow. Look at that. All that fire just rakes the Chitose, but really doesn't do that much damage. She's listing heavily to starboard and towards the stern. Oh no. You poor thing. It's gonna be a one-way trip for the Chitose. If I'm gonna design something like this again, I'm gonna need a lot more secondaries. Because this apparently is not enough. Temeraire is still here. There she goes. Temeraire is no longer with us. Let's go for the battleship, and I want the secondaries to go for the Thanet. There we go. I wonder what's going to kill me first. Floatability or structural integrity? Because torpedoes damage both. Superb is on fire towards the stern. If I'm going to go down with this ship, by God, am I going to take a couple of these guys with me? Jesus, this ship has taken a lot of damage. Look at that. I don't know how there's a crew left. So another 153, and a 102, and a 126. It's just waiting until the next torpedo salvo gets launched. And that could happen any moment now, although the Warrego might not want to launch with the Turquoise directly in front. Oh, but somebody else did. There goes Thanet, and there goes Chitose. Oh, misplayed that. She was a beautiful ship, though. She was a beauty to behold when she fired all of those 18-inch guns from a broadside. Damn, I don't even want to know what sort of impact that must have had if you were standing on the deck of that ship. Right, let me know if you guys want to try, me to try this kind of design again. I really like these big ships, and especially if you're not limited by any sort of budgets or weight constraints, you can build some crazy ships. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I shall catch you guys soon for another video.